pretty well.
Maybe we'll try some sawdust on a shop floor.
Yes, you try that as well, and it seems to move fairly decently. It definitely moves a lot better than when it was using wheels. So you can make 2 more adjustments.
So let's see. I'm going to go with lighter.
Okay. So he has
36.
a design for another engine that he can put together easily. You point out some changes that can be made and ways to expedite the process. The engine comes together really quickly, and it is smaller and can't haul quite as much, but it's going to be much easier to get around.
And let's do the winch. I guess we need all the stuff in the shop. But let's go for the speed.
Okay.
That time I didn't do as well. 19.
So this adjustment takes longer and a lot more fine tuning, but eventually you are moderately successful, and it does seem to move faster over land. Hopefully this will aid in traversing like the snowdrifts and the hills and such. And hopefully it seems like it'll be able to much better match pace with the sled dogs and the ponies.
Excellent. Gorgon dusts some grease off his face and lifts his goggles and starts packing a bowl.
Lucas like, what?
Tobacco, though.
Anna, I would like to get a handle animal check from you just to see how you manage with looking after the animals.
Sure.
Leading up to the expedition.
That one. 25.
Oh,
So,
now you roll.
Anna,
well.
you erase all the
You monster.
So, as you're looking after the animals, you start to get to know the personalities of each individual dog, and they are very different. Some require, attention near sleep. Some like specific foods a little bit better, but they all enjoy your company, and just the way, because you can communicate with them, they respond to you much better than other dog handlers. And
Right.
Despite the short amount of time, they become very attentive to your orders, instructions, and so forth. Also, their health clears up. They get stronger in the amount of time that you're looking after them. And do you wish to use magic to try to help like any of their hurts or ailments, or do you wish to only use mundane means?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
You believe that you can do it discreetly,
I know, but after like what kind of just happened,
right?
I
But
guess.
it's up to you. It's totally your call.
It depends on the severity. Like if they're just like training ailments and the like, then
Most of them are relatively minor. They had some, things like common dog things like fleas, or they had, perhaps some wounds, some minor wounds. But yeah, mostly minor ailments.
No, in that case, no. And if nothing serious happens, I'm just gonna roll a heal check, I guess.
Sure.
24.
Yeah, which is pretty good.
Yeah, I got a 19.
So you request some like certain ointments and stuff from Artis, which he is more than happy to provide for you to look after the dogs.
Cool. Yeah, and I'll make sure that they basically have what they need and whatnot. But ultimately, that's it.
All right. Is there anything anyone else would like to do leading up to the expedition?
2 things. Would you accept like a craft clothing check to make a flag?
Never. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Like a Teresian flag? Is that what you're doing?
More specifically, like a white flag,
Oh, okay.
like my
Surrender
family's
flag?
name.
Oh,
No, like
okay.
like a flag with my sigil on it.
Oh, Roger that. Yeah, you can absolutely.
Okay. And then I
What
want a
is it?
sidebar with Gar.
Fucking Evanescence logo flag.
Sorry, say that again, Luke.
I'm gonna have a little side combo with Gar.
Okay. Yeah,
Oh, really? Well, Gar had noticed how good Anna was with the dogs, and he got jealous, so he went to a butcher's shop to get some really high-end jerky.
Oh, very good.
Spoil the dogs with.
So the dogs and when you do this, the dogs do take to you, and whenever you come to them, they're basically looking for treats. And I'm not sure how Anna feels about it because it does. I mean, he gives them meat, so it doesn't upset their diet too much, really. They are going to be living off of. The plan is for the dogs to largely live off of seal while they're there. So that way you don't have to bring as much
Right. Yeah.
goods with you on the trip.
That could be tough.
Bridget's cooked seal. She says it smells awful.
And an aside with Svelte now.
Yeah, she'd probably go to your room.
I'm probably gonna buy rations and just stuff.
Remember, they're providing. Sorry, just really quickly because I'm doing this right now. Bensel said that they're providing stuff to us, so
anything relatively mundane, torches, food, cold weather gear, even to a certain extent, minor amounts of climbing gear, they're going to provide for you. So as long as you're within, as long as you don't become separated from like a depot or, your gear, you should be good. If you become separated from the group, then you're not going to have access to those.
Okay.
Well, so if because I wanted to incorporate some of the stuff in my inventory, does that count as us having it that if we do get separated, or would you prefer we don't do that?
If you want to carry things on you, that's okay. Sure.
Yeah, because I have a lot of the equipment already pre-purchased.
I think what he was asking is if we have all our stuff on the train and then we leave the train, do we have to pack all our shit up before we go?
Well, just carry what you would regularly carry on you.
Okay, and then just extra
and
shit.
If you want additional stuff, yeah, go for it. But yeah, generally you're gonna be hauling a bunch of gear with you, basically. So unless you become separated from that gear somehow through, and not to say that it couldn't happen.
Because that's what Schveltman does.
You could potentially be without those things. Now, if that situation was to happen, that's a near deadly situation. So
yeah,
the potential is, make of it what you will.
All right.
I'm not going to be like, you don't have any food rations because
Ryan did that to us.
Yeah,
so, remember that?
Yep.
Yeah,
really.
When we ran out of food, why didn't we turn around? Oh, you're already 2 weeks out.
Really?
What?
This expedition, they are preparedness is, what they're going for, and they're not expecting people to outfit themselves for this journey. It is
right.
They have been. It's very detailed.
That's pretty well organized. The last one we went on, they didn't give a shit.
Well, this is a pretty big
against the ordinance.
Real quickly then, I was looking at a map which is 50 gold, a heat stone which is 20 gold, and a compass which is 10 gold. I can buy them for myself, or I was assuming they would purchase it for us.
Yep. Yeah, you will have access to those things. Unfortunately, the maps, though, are not very detailed because they've only gotten a small distance onto the continent.
It's just a square and it says snow here too.
Because they do provide bonuses to survival checks, you prefer I don't do that then?
Yeah, but it's survival checks for like very specific things, right?
That is correct, to avoid becoming lost. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. That's fine. You can go ahead and add those
Incorporate that.
bonuses. That is
Okay.
completely acceptable. Yeah.
All right.
And,
Sorry.
I
you
mean,
guys go ahead.
they're gonna be. They have a very predetermined path, which they will be verifying daily, and along that path. Well, this is actually you guys are gonna sort of find this stuff out. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so where was I?
They wanted to have an aside, Sultan and Gar. I apologize,
Right.
guys.
So you guys can go ahead and do that. Then we will move on to other things.
So Sveltna comes to my door.
Yeah, she just kind of like walks in. Is it locked?
No, Gar does not fear anything.
Yeah, so she just kind of opens the door and slams it shut and says, "What was that shit in the alley?"
What? Are you coming on to me? What's going on here?
Svelna looks angry and says, "That was supposed to be non-lethal. Why were you shooting arrows into people?"
I can gauge an enemy's strength very well. I felt she could endure the arrows.
It doesn't matter what you think. We as a group decided to go in non-lethally. You don't decide on your own.
Well, I forgot my blunt arrows, and I didn't exactly have time to grind them blunt on a wall. Since when
Gar?
were you the merciful one?
You noticed that there was a package left behind for you, addressed from Thorindel.
Oh, goodness. Do you mind if I open this in front of you, Sveltna?
You unwrap it to discover that it is
An
none other than
exploding
some
room.
blunt arrows. It blows up in your face.
Oh, God damn it. Trinder with his sense of humor. He must have sent these after he was scrying on us or something.
Svelna looks angry that you kind of like ignored her to open that box. And she says, "Look, play along or you can leave." She just kind of opens your door and slams it shut. Like, pretty hard.
Oh, jeez, she's a bitch.
And that's all that I wanted.
Okay.
Oh, not even a handy. Gar leaves. Aw.
So you receive word from Artis Millen that soon that they will be having, before they set out on the expedition, he will be having sort of a bit of a get together so you can meet some of the crew and he can just explain some of the further details of the mission and just all around to get to know each other and enjoy yourselves before you set out. Now, before that happens, though, Leslie, you receive a private missive from Lord Hastings. He requests your presence at his estate at your convenience. That's it. No more individual time for Leslie ever again, because he's not here.
I was
this
peeing.
day.
What?
You blew it.
Tangency -5 to everything.
Why would it
you
be?
get, receive.
Huh?
I'm just kidding.
What?
You receive a private missive from Lord Hastings requesting you to come and see him at his estate.
This better be about his fucking daughter. Leslie will go.
Awfully demanding. You make your way to Lord Hastings' estate. The doorman expects your arrival, at which point he lets you in and takes you to the darkened room that you were at before.
So Les will enter the room, and I'm expecting to see him in the chair.
Yeah.
Leslie will approach and say, "Lord Hastings, I didn't expect to hear from you so soon."
Yes, well, I wanted to find out how you had made out, and I also had a small request to ask of you.
I wanted to make out with you.
All right, let me just change genders. Les,
I like how you guys responded to my stupid joke instead of.
Les says I went to the antique shop and I was able to find out who had sold it.
Really?
Me as a character, I know who it is, but as a person, I don't know. I don't remember.
Oh, right. You convey. Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head the name either. It's in my writing somewhere.
Yeah, but I just know that that person was.
Really?
was-
So have you been able to track the man down?
Not as of yet. We've been dealing with other things going on in my group.
Oh.
I haven't been able to take time out for myself.
I see. Well, Leslie, I'm glad that I was able to set you on this path to rediscovering what was going on with your grandfather.
What did you want to ask of me?
It has come to my attention that you are heading out on this expedition to the pole.
Indeed, I am.
I have a small request that you bring back some samples if possible. I have done some research of ancient tomes and heard that there is strange magic in the area.
Les says, of course. What am I looking for?
Well, I've heard of mana, but I've never had a sample of it. Perhaps some of that. Anything out of the usual, really. You never know what possibilities you can gain from things until you've studied them. He produces some vials for you and shows them to you. They've been specially treated, so they should be able to contain any volatile or reactive substance without causing any trouble.
Oh, and I'm thankful for that. I was a little nervous when you said you wanted mana.
Now, Leslie,
mhm.
this is of great importance to me, and since we have a history and seem to get along, I would like it if you could keep this between us.
Even from my companions?
Yes, they may not be as inclined to help me as you are.
Can I get a sense motive? Not that I don't trust them, because I do, but just...
Yeah.
Nat 20? Huh, how about that?
Well, you get the impression that there is something that he's not telling you, but I mean, yeah,
that's
he's
not...
definitely holding back from you. And you do get a sort of air of nefariousness about it. It does seem very cloak and dagger. But yeah, it's Lord Hastings is a very mysterious man.
Les will say, I get the impression you're not telling me everything. However, I've known you for a long time, and I will do this for you.
I would truly be indebted to you if you were to help me. And yes, I have not told you everything, but it's probably safer if you do not know.
Les nods. He says, well, then I will endeavor... Gorgon. I will endeavor to do this for you.
He nods.
Les will ask, I hope, if I'm bringing something back for you, I was wondering if anyone else in your household had any interests. Is Ethel following in your footsteps with some of these crafts?
She has not as yet displayed the aptitude, but I endeavor to teach her.
Does she have
As
it?
for interest, that is for her to say, not me.
Les will nod.
Although I will endeavor to ingratiate you in her eyes.
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure as always.
He nods and says, "Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some pressing matters to attend to."
Okay. Celeste will leave.
Wes leaves and makes his way back to the estate,
Huh.
carrying several vials of strange material, strange treated glass. Oh,
Just quickly while we're on the subject, does that glass still look the same?
yeah, it has a strange sheen to it. It seems as if it's been alchemically treated somehow.
Cool.
Okay. So, the group. So, after spending some time preparing for the expedition in Abbott's Shore, Anna, of course, you spend some time trying to restore some of Griffith's memories or bring him up to a more manageable state. And you're successful at that. Oh, wait. Actually, I should get some checks, shouldn't I? Before I just say. I mean, we could get another nat 1 in here. Am I right?
Oh, turn him into a retard.
Right.
You did it. You saved the city.
Sorry, I was gone. So what?
Yeah,
I have
just
a
throw
feeling this
down
addressed
like
to
a
me.
Yeah, roll the
heal
dice.
and a
For what?
spellcraft.
I don't know what. My internet disconnected. I don't know
Roll
what
the
is happening.
dice.
You're helping. This is just in the weeks leading up to leaving, helping Griff.
Okay, what should I roll?
A heal and a spellcraft.
His name is Griff now.
Griff.
God damn it, Griff. Damn it, Griff.
God damn it, Rifkin.
No, that's not the reference I was making.
Sorry, Pencil. I'll roll the dice and then hopefully they'll stop.
Just roll the dice.
It's going.
Yeah, no, I'm just waiting for, of course, Beard
I know,
doing
I
his thing.
Got it.
So
Yeah,
Beard,
no
I'm going to say this in French to throw them off. To utilize le network virtuel de proxy
What?
VP1.
problem. It's pretty good when Matt's like, what? 18 and 25.
All right. So your mundane means of helping him are moderately successful. You sort of take him through it's like basically like physiotherapy, more or less.
For the brain.
And yeah, well, just for you're like, this is how you hold a spoon and shit like that.
This is where the dick
And
goes.
and that in combined with the spells that you've been using to implant memories within him and just try to get him up to speed, he begins to understand well and even being able to communicate to a degree. And he's able to sort of feed himself and wipe
Wipe his own butt.
Yeah, exactly.
Does he understand what happened? Like, I want to express to him, like, basically he was in an accident. I'll try to be, like, vague on that and say, like,
Right.
you lost your memories.
In as
like,
vague as it is, he does
It was an
begin
accident.
to understand that something has happened to him.
Your chorus crashed,
Right.
Mr. Griff.
Sidebar.
Thank you, Luke. +1 experience.
Yeah, you're doing a good job. Yeah, I guess that's it.
Boo.
Okay, yes. So you've got him up to the point where he can look after himself. Do you guys indeed employ Rosemary to help him out while you're gone? Because although he can look after himself to a degree, it would really help having Rosemary there.
I think we should.
I mean, she did get a baby, right? Like, now she has 2 babies.
She can do both.
It's true. Although time has passed since this child has been born, so
Well,
It's-
yeah, but
a little bit. It's not like
He's 6 years old.
Daddy!
Well, it's not that old. But you
No.
know, it's
Yeah, I
not-
mean, I Anna will probably ask her. Like, Anna will explain, like, hey, so you were worried about Jack. We're actually signing up for the expedition too, so I personally will make sure he's okay. And I have a favor to ask you. This guy, who is Edward's dad, was in an accident. You don't need to know the details of. He lost his memory,
she
so
doesn't want to know
he's
the details.
he's recovering. I've done my best to make sure that he won't, like, you know, do anything insane, but I can also understand if you don't want some weird stranger in your house.
She thinks it over for some time and does agree to what you propose, not in any small part due to the amount.
Like, sorry, I know we've already spent a lot of time on this. Like, is Gridiff, like, aggressive at all? Like,
No,
is he-
if anything,
like,
he's a lot more placid than even what he used to be.
Okay, cool.
Edward, it may seem strange
not-
to you to
It's
have
not
your
really him.
Yeah,
Bring me
like-
back my dad that would hate me.
It's really weird to be around your dad and for him to be sort of timid and stuff, and he's not like berating you constantly,
Yeah.
or,
Yeah, again.
stuff.
Seeing a
So
fam-
it's having, whatever effect that would have. It's very different than what you're used to. It could even perhaps be appealing. I don't know.
You fixed him.
So you do get Rosemary
I guess I
there.
can
Yeah,
use
he
magic
doesn't seem dangerous.
To fix
He
my
seems
problems.
pretty fine. And when he meets Rosemary and everything, they seem to get along real well, and everything there seems fine. So we don't need to spend any more time. Okay. So everybody's done with there's nothing else that they wish to do.
I just need to know how much time has passed since we started your quest until we leave
Right.
to go on the expedition.
Let's say it's been about a month overall.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, because it's been a little while.
Now, do our months have 30 or 31 days?
Yeah, just say it's 30.
They have 40.
That's-
Oh,
What was
sorry.
a month?
Really
30 days.
really quickly then. Thorindel learned Dispel Magic, eh?
Correct. He.
I totally forgot this from a
threw it
while ago.
over
Can I
to Rosemary.
commission a scroll from him?
Yeah,
real
absolutely.
Quick? Okay, thank you.
And you can get that scrying.
Oh yeah,
spell.
I can roll again.
Oh yeah, you can roll as well. Sure.
Sweet. I rolled last week. Does that mean I don't get to roll? That was for this month, or that was for the time that I was not in my last quest?
Oh, I would assume it was for the time from the last quest. So yeah, you can
Oh,
do.
it's one per week? I thought it was one per month.
I was doing 4 scrolls per week,
Okay, all right.
and
Sweet.
then
Okay, I will do that. While you...
with the increasing 5%. And also remember, Thorindel has clairvoyance as well. So if you want to grab that off of him, you could as well.
I got a better clairvoyance.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so the day arrives where that Artis has organized as a bit of a get together for the crew to meet each other.
Is there alcohol?
Les shows up as a woman.
Okay, there will be alcohol. You arrive at the warehouse, and you are greeted by his second in command, Cole Burton. He smiles at you kindly and offers a hand to everyone in turn and says, "Welcome, welcome," as he greets you each by name. Come, not many have arrived yet. You will have some time. As he shows you in, it actually happens not exactly in the warehouse. It will be on board the ship. And it isn't long before quite a bit of the crew begins showing up. We'll just turn that down a little bit. It's loud.
Oh, there's music?
Bonerific.
Yeah. It's a little loud. So you are surprised to see that there is someone actually playing music.
Gar, control it. Remember what the Rete says.
There is alcohol as well.
Don't worry, Gorgon. I have blunt arrows.
Ignatius Spots shows up and greets Gorgon. Hello, Gorgon.
Ignatius, good to see you. How is the engine running?
It purrs like a kitten. I couldn't be more excited to see how it operates on ice and snow.
Ah, the field test. One of the most rewarding days in any hobgoblin's life. I can hardly wait. Just look at my hand. His hand's not shaking at all. He's like, it's almost shaking.
He smiles and says, "Come with me. Let me show you the lab we have on board.
Oh,
perhaps we can take a look at the ship engine."
Oh, that would be delightful. I haven't felt this giddy since I had to watch the first years in their dissertation week.
So he takes you and shows you. Oh, also Leslie would perhaps be interested in their alchemist lab as well.
Yes.
And even Sveltna as well. He
Yeah, we'll
takes you
check
there, and he shows
Ignatius, these are
you
my
how-
companions. Leslie Bishop Washington and Schveltna.
It is my pleasure to meet you, of course. It must be an honor to know someone as knowledgeable as your hobgoblin friend.
Yes, quite the honor.
He sort of smiles kind of knowingly. And this is our lab, and he shows you it's a well-stocked lab. It's apparent that they've been using it to make explosives and sun rods and just different things that will help them for the expedition. The others, Gar and Edward and Anna, a woman comes up to you and greets you.
Hello there, miss. Or Mrs., I hope not.
No, there's no mister. Pleasure to meet you. I'm Captain Sierra Fond. I will be in charge of the ship.
So Anna will give a curt bow. It's a pleasure to meet you. What's your
Gar
name? Sorry?
shakes her.
What's that?
Sierra Fond.
Sierra Fawn.
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am.
How old are you, if you don't mind
Captain?
me asking?
I'm in my reasonable age,
10th year.
early 30s.
You're quite young to be in such a prestigious position.
Well, it took many years to get where I am today, especially as a woman.
Well, if I can aid you in any way, I am Gar, Paladin of the Divine Order of Rete.
Rete, you wouldn't be a Gamilonian, perhaps?
I am a thoroughbred Gameloni.
I see. Well, I'm glad to have you on board. If we come across any creatures on the way, you could be extremely helpful.
I specialize in slaying evil, although I am a man of many talents. Wink.
If she notices what you say, she doesn't really pay too much attention. She begins showing you around the ship. She takes you, Anna, and shows you where like the kennels are and where the animals are going to be kept. It's not as big as what you'd like, but it's
But what you can
it's
do
a ship,
about-
so you don't. It's there's not that much space. You also, she shows you some of the horses, or rather ponies, that they're going to be using.
Oh my god, what is that? Oh no.
Come from island to the north. They're bred to be able to put up with the weather. I hope that they fare well. We have enough fodder for them.
I love them.
So Anna will reach out to like touch the mane of one and says, I'll do what I can to make sure that they're comfortable on the journey.
Sort of wickers and moves under your touch. Not frightened or anything. It's just She also takes you to the deck of the ship where she points out some of the guns that are mounted there. They have some what are the small cannons? The sort of anti-personnel type.
Anti-sail guns.
Yeah,
They're called swivels.
Yeah, sure.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for. She has some of those and points them out to you and how they can be used to repel creatures that can attack the ship, especially since, of course, with the Gorman expedition, they were assailed by sea serpents.
Are you? We heard concerns that it's you. I have the name written down, but I can't remember how it's pronounced. Eutricia?
Eutricians.
The Eutricians may also be competing.
That's right. Now, of course, their expedition will be taking a different route. I just hope that we can make it there before them.
Well, and for the sake of my companions, I'm merely a scout, you see, and here to also care for these animals, but perhaps it would be best to let my companions know what exactly the plan of action is if we do come in contact with Eutricians.
Oh, of course. I believe that Artist will be addressing that when he speaks to the crew, to the expedition. He is really the one who makes these decisions.
Animal nod.
Okay. So, also, as you're sort of mingling with the crew, getting to know the men here and there, a rather loud and bawdy man introduces himself to you as Boswell Rush, as he shakes your hands in a rather firm grip.
Boswell Rush. Who's this guy?
Sveldna's gonna squeeze extra tight, trying to. She's gonna do that with everyone. She's gonna try and have the.
Oh, you're gonna do the Trump handshake?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been taken on as the ship's navigator. Couldn't be happier. We're gonna put our names in the history books.
Well, I for one am glad to have you there.
Did you have a drink? It might be the last one we have for a while, he says, as he makes his way over to the rum barrel.
Les says, why don't you get a girl a drink?
All right, Leslie is right now a girl.
I'm gonna be a woman for the whole trip.
He gives you a beaming smile and says, certainly, as he fills the mug deeply and returns it to you. So tell me, what has brought you on board this ship? What exactly are your duties?
Oh, what the hell did I tell them? I make
just say that you're an alchemist, more or less.
I'm a
no,
medic, and I'm a linguistics expert.
He's also good at disguising himself, if you see what I'm saying.
Don't you mean herself? He says to Edward.
Yes, Edward. You're thinking of my twin brother.
You have a twin brother.
Know. I ain't so sure about that twin brother story. But
Gorgon,
maybe.
I'm sorry, my
Gorgon's
French
gonna do
here
it
is a
for
little
Jeff.
slow.
Yeah, that's what you want me to believe.
Gorgon does not see Leslie and Edward struggling and will not intervene.
Okay. Says, I see. Well, I hear that we are going to be, that we should arrive at the Gorman Ice Shelf within the month. I'm excited to see how far the ice goes. Very well. And after some discussion,
Benzel.
Good
What
to
the
see
fuck?
Les is just the same kind of girl as fucking every other one sitting at the bar.
Leslie
Give me
Leslie
a
just
drink. Oh, I got it. Don't speak to me ever again.
Leslie just all right, no, you know what?
Yeah. I'm already forgetting the price of alcohol.
Basically, it's perfect for RP because what I was just typing.
Can I
Because-
just get in for free? Cool.
So Les is like not paying attention to this guy, glancing at Zelda.
says, if you'll excuse me,
It was nice to meet you. We'll talk more.
Of course. It isn't long before Artis calls everyone together.
I tell to Boswell, like I told you, can't trust her. She's a con artist.
Case gives you a wide smile and
sound
says,
like
I
could
see,
you-
I will
could
have to
you
be
not?"
wary of this one. He says,
She ain't gonna give you nothing.
winks at
I might.
So Artis calls everyone together. He says, gather around, as he unfurls a map on the table and goes into detail just exactly what pertains to the expedition. We have done our best to make sure that the expedition sets out in the spring and avoids the stormy season for our trip over the ocean, as the ship is rather... You may have noticed the shape, as he points that out. Some of you might have noticed the ship is rather round. The bottom, it's not very narrow. This, of course, is
Crush ice,
So that
Les
we're
says bored.
more... that is right, says Artis. So that we are more able to break through the ice. Of course, the engine will be able to push us and break the ice much easier. As he indicates Ignatius, who nods. We'll have it up. We'll be plowing through that ice like a hot knife through butter, he says. Okay. Ignatius Artis says, it is likely that we will become stuck in the ice, as is wont to happen due to weather and just the thickness. We may not be able to get right close to the ice cliffs. If we do become trapped in the ice, we will then, of course, use explosives to free the ice ahead of us. When we have reached shore, we will unload on the pack ice and bring the wares up the glacier, which will be difficult, but I am confident that we will be able to do so without any loss of goods. Once we have gotten past the glacier, of course, it will be the snowfields, which travel on for quite some time until we get to the mountains. The mountains have not been explored properly, so we're not sure what we will reach there. It's for that reason that we have experienced climbers, he indicates Sveltna, to
Sveltna
help
will nod.
traverse this area. Once we have set up Depot 5, every team will head back except for the last team, which will push on for the pole and etch Tor's name in history.
Edward raises his hand.
Yes, of course, Edward.
How do we know when we reached it? The pole, I mean.
That's a very good question, Edward. We have astronomical instruments to tell us when we are getting close. And in addition, we have these instruments here, and he goes over to one of the sleds and it's got like I'm sure that there's probably a certain name for it. It's basically a wheel on the back of the sled that, as it turns, it's going to keep track of the distance that you've traveled. So in combination with keeping track of and their, I believe it's latitude, that's the way it goes, they will be able to determine whether they've reached the pole. Ultimately. Now, once we have reached that, we will travel for, say, 10 miles in each direction, north, east, and west, just so that we are able to say for sure that we have traversed the pole. Now, it has come to my attention that there is a second expedition, the Utretian.
Oh shit.
Are heading out here as well. Now, they have left ahead of us, but we are much more well-funded, and I believe with the added edge of our cutting technology that we should be able to reach the pole before them.
Wait, who?
The Utretians.
The Who the hell are these people?
Pay
Well,
attention. Gorgon smacks
Yeah,
him.
we talked about this
Ow.
last session.
They're warlike.
They're from Utah. They have been, as of recent, waging war on many of their neighbors, and they wish to make a bid on them, who I know personally and have actually been on an expedition with before. This has been a dream of his for many years, and he will stop at nothing to reach the goal. So basically, that's a. If there are any other questions, I believe that we shall return to our festivities. And okay, so at that, he sort of smiles and raises a glass and says, "To the pole."
To the pole.
Gorgon says to the poles.
Les raises the
Sona
glass.
raises her glass. Shouldn't say anything though.
Les doesn't
Is
say
there any
anything.
other hobgoblins on the expedition, or is Gorgon the only one?
You appear to be the only hobgoblin.
Perfect.
To the North Pole.
But you've
Oh,
got
so
My
he can,
glory.
Ignatius.
he can be like, I'm the first hobgoblin to have reached the pole. He's gonna
Bitches.
tattoo this on his body.
It's Scarlet on my body.
A scar, yeah, whatever.
It's tattoos are for pussies. Okay, you knows it.
He's got scarification. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, have you not? Like it's like in my backstory. We,
Sidebar.
like, have our degrees and stuff.
Okay, so the next day, the expedition takes on the last of their wares and heads out. Now, one of the things about this ship is because of the very sort of rounded design, it means it doesn't really weather the sea all that well. So I'd like to get fortitudes from everybody.
I need
This
a
is for
number.
like sea sickness, basically.
Correct.
So
I have a-
essentially,
In that case,
No
I have
cold
a question, dear Dungeon Master. I do get, as part of my curse, I do get a +4 on saves versus all environmental conditions, including hunger and thirst. Does seasickness, is that included?
Yeah, why not? Sure.
Seems fair to me. Yeah, that's a good idea. So it's 23 in that
Yeah.
case.
Why not? Okay, so
got a 14.
Les is just rocking around on the boat like,
No, you have an episode of seasickness and you don't feel that great. You spend a fair amount of time up above board. Anna, you really don't take to the ship at all, and you're and it could be a combination of that and the proximity to the animals as well. You really are not managing it very well.
Loving this,
The rest
yeah.
of you seem okay. I don't see Gorgon here. Did you
Oh,
make a
sorry.
roll, Gorgon?
No, I didn't hit enter.
tried to slip one by me, did you? Morgan, surprisingly, you don't handle the boat all that well either. Which you're rather surprised by. Ignatius doesn't think any less of you for it, though.
It's all right. I want to be judged by my intellect, not
If
by
I can-
ability to weather the sea.
If I'm able to remove the second trait with my mercy, lay on hands, does that cure seasickness?
Yeah, could totally do that. Yeah.
I won't do it for the party members, but I'm gonna see if we can move some of the officers. Nonchalant lay on hands.
Don't do magic
Well,
on
Why
people.
No,
would you do
this
it for
shows-
them and not us?
Remember, Gar, it's like Arete says, mercy
Now-
starts at home.
Now, the hierarchical structure of the ship isn't so, like, there isn't really officers. The way Artis has set it up, everybody is relatively equal. On the ship, everybody
Oh,
sort of cross trains on different. Everybody cross trains on different tasks on the ship, and you basically share all of the duties more or less. So there isn't really officers per se. Like, I mean, there's Artis who's in charge and is second in command, and of course the captain of the ship. But
Okay, in that
Yeah.
case, Gar will approach Anna and he'll say, Anna, I know that you see me as pure evil. However,
They'll put words in her mouth.
Gar, you
May I-
always begin your sentences like that. Every time you approach me to do something kind, you always start with, I know you hate me.
would you let me relieve you of the sickness?
Yes, of course. Oh, thank you,
I'll
Gar.
need to touch me.
Thank you. Are you sure the officers don't need this?
Turns out there's no one to ask us.
There should be someone. Maybe there's like a rat or something you could use this on. Or did you kill all of them already?
I noticed you are quite good with the animals. Maybe you could find a rat for me to be friends with.
Yeah, maybe. Sorry, I'm just a little too seasick.
Do you think I could ask a favor in return of curing you?
Of
Paladin,
course.
ladies and gentlemen.
Of course you could, Gar.
See, I've always thought I would be more paladin-like if I had a horse that fancied me. Do you think you could find the sturdiest of the stock to be my steed?
Gar, and Anna reaches up and like puts a hand on Gar's shoulder and says, I would never put a horse through that sort of torment.
Very well.
Is that a no?
God, I see how you feel. I just want you to know this is going to come back to you.
So Anna laughs.
Did you just
And says-
threaten Anna?
I cured it, and he cures her seasickness.
Oh well, if I can't help you with a horse, maybe there's something else I could do for you, Gar.
Whoa.
Conscious?
I'm not into you then.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
Wait, it might be a long trip though. What were you thinking?
You know, give you confidence. I figured maybe while you're sleeping, I could put. I could read your book of Arete and give you some pointers from it. You know, help you. I know that Gorgon gives you a hard time for not understanding the religion you're a part of.
Well, you see, I haven't really learned to read yet.
Oh, I can help you with that.
Wouldn't tell anyone that I'm like.
Of
8
course I
intelligence score.
wouldn't, Gar.
Next day. So I hear Anna's helping you learn to read. Damn it!
Can't even read.
Of course I wouldn't. I'll teach you to read.
It's a date, Anna. I will be forever in your debt.
Well, you'll be asleep. You sleep. That's all I need you to do.
Wait, so a witch wants to tamper with my dreams, and I happen to know she despises me. Let me think
I
about
don't know where you
She
got
could-
this idea.
She
that
could
they
do it either
despise-
way.
this.
She does not need your consent.
Let's put it this way, Anna. You can't make me any more savage.
Well,
Let's-
you've got me there.
I
Okay.
Sorry, that was massive.
No, that's all right. I'm okay
we
with
stay
tangents if you're RPing.
That's development.
That's right. So, as the expedition carries on, you get to know the crew better and better, and especially with cross training, doing other people's duties, you have really gotten to know how the ship works and how everybody fits into this crew, and it's really has shaped up to be a pretty well thought out and put together expedition. As you're getting closer to the Gorman ice shelf, because this is the spring and it is just the tail end of the stormy season, unfortunately the ship does hit a rather large storm. You are below deck most of... Whoa,
cool.
that's a little loud.
That's great.
Let's turn that down.
It's atmospheric. No. My immersion.
But I couldn't...
The
Well, you
storm-
can...
Storm.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Sorry.
Okay,
I'll turn my
so...
GM privilege back on. Sorry. Go ahead.
So, yes, you encounter a storm. Now, you're below deck for quite some time. The ship really heaves a lot because of, once again, the design of the ship. They've rotten down the sails, but you can hear some shouting coming from above deck. As the group rushes up there to help, you can see that one of the rigging ropes has snapped, and a sail has come free. Also, a large wave crashes over the ship and knocks someone out into the raging sea.
Oh, god damn it.
I'm going to take some initiative. Oh, I guess I need tokens to do that. That would have been helpful.
If only we had someone who can summon a water thingy to go help him out.
Use my female
Only.
token.
Oh, you're making my life so complicated.
Stop assuming my gender!
Got Sveltna over here with the tokens.
Stop changing it if you don't want people to assume it. Can't just flip flop.
Yes, I
Man.
actually can.
Thon character is annoying.
Huh. Nat 1.
A Thon, that ain't Star Wars. I did it. I don't know why I don't have the cool little icons though.
I know. The cool little icon. Every time I see it, I think of Naruto.
Oh, you go into your character sheet and turn them on. They're in like the last. Okay, just waiting on Gar now. Initiative.
Oh, sorry.
You're not Gar, but that's okay.
I know, you're waiting on me too.
Did you take off, Russell? Yeah, I think Russ took off, so we'll just leave him at the end. Okay. Sending. Okay, so we will open with Nameless Girl.
So are we up on the top of the
You
deck?
are on the deck of the ship,
Where did the person fall off?
off the right side. Yes, yes, true.
How
We know
far
you
would it
know
take for me to get
nautical
there?
directions. You can easily get to the
Starboard
side
side.
of the ship in a move action.
And then how far out from the ship is she? Like, did she recently fall off, or has the current
Yeah,
kinda
it
bit.
basically more or less just happened. They're not far away.
Alright, Sultana looks at the party and just says, "Throw me a rope," and she runs and jumps off this side of the ship after the girl. First,
God damn it.
what's the water conditions? Rough or stormy?
Freezing.
This is storm.
Dude, can you not hear that? It's a fucking storm, man.
Also, the picture.
Also, the water's Arctic. You're gonna die.
Well,
You're gonna freeze to death before you die.
Yeah. Well, how long have we been sailing? Like, how many days have passed?
it's been 3 weeks.
Oh shit, that means my stuff's ready.
That
Ding.
means Les has probably bedded somebody.
Okay, that's
let's
different.
check
I
that.
thought we were maybe on first day of travel. Actually, fuck it. Selena just undoes the rope that's around her and just throws it to the party, and then runs and jumps off the side. Hopefully, someone
it's-
grabs that.
So
I hope someone
basically,
takes this.
basically the same thing as before, except for now you don't have a rope tied to you.
No, like I
Well,
keep my rope tied around my waist and then just like coil it on my body. So I'm just like throwing someone the end of that and then I'm diving off.
Okay, I don't really understand the difference. What I don't coiling it around
like-
your body. I don't understand. To
Like
what
that's
end?
just to keep it raveled up. It's tied around my waist. And then I just like wrap it around my shoulder to like normally have it. So right now I'm just undoing that and giving it to someone. And then it's still tied around my waist.
You get
So
it?
it's
Alright.
loose.
It's
on
tied
the
to him.
side.
Yeah.
Sure. So you leap into the water. Make a swim check. Oh, also, the rules for swim, and it's just armor check penalty. You actually don't take -1 per 10 pounds of gear.
Yeah, that was 3.5.
Yeah, well, that's just the way I thought it was. So unfortunately, your swim isn't great enough as a wave hits you and spins you around, and you lose sense of your direction. Anna.
What a fucking moron.
Well, fuck. And
Now we
looks
gotta
at
save
everybody
2
else,
people.
I guess. Can we like grab one of the crew and tell them to hold that rope?
Certainly.
Anna just like grabs some random person and says, "Hold this," and puts Sveltna's rope into their hands, and then Anna's gonna climb up to try to go help with that sail.
Okay, so you grab Boswell, and he grabs hold of the rope, and he says, "I won't move," as he wraps it around
Good
his
man.
arm.
And Anna's gonna
That's when
climb up the
Les might have sex with him.
thing.
So Anna begins making her way up the rigging to the mast, which is flapping in the wind. Now, because like a portion of the, like say one corner of the rope connected to the mast is torn, it's of course out of control, but it's also really having an effect on the boat because so it's like really making the boat turn away from the waves as opposed to into them, which
Yeah.
is not great.
Fuck. See, the problem is, like, I can get up here, but... Oh, also, do you want me to make climb checks? I do have climb speed, but keep in mind, it's not spider climb, so, like, if it's a difficult climb, I can still be, like,
No,
thrown off or whatever.
I think that you're okay for right
still be
now because I
Alright.
mean it's designed for climbing. So
What can I do to try to pull the sail? Can I,
Well,
like,
you could
try it?
perhaps
Go ahead.
attempt a strength check, or if you can think of anything else that might be applicable.
Unfortunately, can I cast slumber on the rope, go into its dreams, and tell it to tie itself
Yeah.
back onto the...
Maybe if the rope was a hemp plant,
If
you roll
a 20,
predispose it to not snapping.
And you
Yeah.
said animate rope was a shitty spell.
I never said that. See that? Yeah, no, I got shit all. Like, Anna will just try a strength check, I guess.
Your
to try to
strength,
get-
you could like do it very slowly to withdraw it, which will not be as effective, of course, but it is much more with a low strength.
Mhm. I'll do that then. The
Okay.
More slowly way. It's still a strength check, right?
Yep, I will still take a strength check.
13.
So, as the sail is flapping in the wind, you begin to try to retrieve it, and very slowly you begin to collect it. Edward's turn.
Edward having literally nothing else to do, will use his trait, Inspiring, and as a standard action, I speak words of encouragement to grant a +1 morale bonus to Sveltna's next swim check, or any other roll actually, but I think it's gonna...
Almost like this encounter was designed for someone who, say, had more relevant skills.
I know. Like, I don't know who that could be, but anyways.
Weird.
So I will just say like, come on, Sveltna, you can do it. Climb back, I got you.
So that's the that ability that you have that assists them.
Yeah, it's within 30 feet, so...
Yep, she's close enough.
And of course they have to be able to hear me.
Yeah, she is underwater, and it is really loud, but you're yelling as loudly as you can. And her
Yeah, I got strong Gamilonian lungs.
Right.
It's the only Gamilonian part that transferred to...
Edward runs to the side of the ship, just barely spotting Sveltna. You could also grab onto the rope as well.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
You don't have to if you don't want to. I was just putting it out there. And then it's Leslie's turn.
I'd like to ask a question before I do something.
Yes.
And you guys can kind of tell me if it makes sense or not.
No, it doesn't. Go ahead.
How did you know? So the elixir of shade walking catapults the drinker and up to 11 additional creatures in contact.
I'm really sure that that's applicable in this situation.
It's specifically, it says it's like not exact at all.
Yeah, it's really...
Don't you all have to be touching?
Plus you're in another dimension.
I would have to. I'd have to get to you, touch you, drink you, and then it says you get catapulted into the shadow plane.
Yeah.
Oh, the shadow plane.
Leslie,
Yu-Gi-Oh. Do you have knowledge of the planes?
No.
Okay, just wondering.
Probably stay out of the
I'm
planes.
going
then.
next, so.
Is it just me, or was the sun behind us when we started out walking?
Benzel, can we keep the jokes in sidebar?
Yeah.
Yeah! Luke, can you get the fuck in the sidebar?
I didn't know I needed that. I better get it. Maybe next level. Okay. So, I guess
Into the rope.
So Svelta is basically bobbing around, tied to a rope, and nowhere near the person who's drowning.
Well, she's not quite there yet. No.
I'll probably drink a potion of monkeyfish.
Okay.
And then I'll dive in the water too.
All right. So, buxom Leslie quaffs a potion and leaps into the water. So that's both your actions. There.
Yeah. I imagine the other
Okay.
hired help is like, where did they get these people?
Gorgon. Are you there? Yeah.
Yep. Sorry, I was eating. So sorry. The two main problems are Sveltna and a crew are in the water, and
Correct.
the main boom's rope has come loose.
Correct.
Okay. So as I've gathered, Les, Sveltna, and what's his face are working on the
Yes, the person in the water.
swimmers, and Anna's climbed up already. To okay, perfect. So what's Gorgon's gonna do is he's going to tie an end of his rope to this, to the can't even remember what's it called. What's it called? The railing, and he's gonna climb up the mast and attempt to sheep shank the two ropes together.
Okay.
So climb check first.
Yeah, okay. So you're trying to tie it to the rope that has become unbound.
Yes. So basically, a sheep shank is a knot that ties two ropes.
It's not so much the knot. I was just.
Or the technique, I guess.
Yes, we know you have nautical knowledge, Drew. That's very good.
Well, listen, me, Hardy. You're really. Don't put a boat in if you don't want me to show off.
Right. So.
Like, don't put a chick in it if you don't want Leslie to hit on it.
And then your goal after that. Now, the only thing is then the sail is simply tied to the railing. So then you'd have to get it to a point, to the point where it's to its main rigging location.
Yeah, but basically what you would do is instead of fighting the full force, you're using the rope as a leverage to basically unfurl the sail. Or is the problem different than what I think?
Well, the problem is that it's flapping in the wind right now and causing the ship to, of course, be blown about in directions it's not supposed to. Basically, they want the sail up right now because the storm is so heavy. It's too dangerous to have the sails down.
Okay.
Yes. So you can accomplish that by doing what you're doing. You'll just have to, once you've climbed up and done your sheep shank, you will have to then return down to where you've tied the rope and put it in its correct position to furl the sails.
Okay, because basically what I wanted to do was use the mechanical efficiency of the railing to pull the sail up instead of our own strength.
Okay, you could do that, sure.
Because actually on a boat, you never want to just try and manhandle a rope. You want to loop it around something first, otherwise it'll take you.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, so
climb.
you make a climb check.
Have you ever sailed before, Drew?
I used to work on a boat.
Have you ever seen a boat?
So you attempt to make your way up the rigging, which is very difficult, and you, because of the blowing winds and the water crashing down, you're not able to make any progress.
Okay, no problem.
Gar.
Gar will attempt to tie a rope to an arrow, and he wants to shoot it into the water next to someone.
That's a really questionable thing. You can't
It
really.
sticks into me.
You know what?
There's very specific items that allow you to do that type of thing.
You know what?
It
This
involves
situation needs
silver
more
rope.
ropes.
In that case, Gar will just find the captain. Captain,
Okay.
how may I be of assistance?
Perhaps
a prayer to encourage the sailors.
Whatever will help. He instructs you to. She rather instructs you to help with the bailing of the ship as it's becoming swamped with the waves that are crashing down.
Well, that's a little below me, but okay.
Literally, your goddess slaps you.
Gar goes and starts bailing the ship.
Now, bailing the ship, they actually have a mechanism that helps bail the ship, and it's basically like a pump. So Gar goes to where the pump is and make a strength check.
God bless. Oh God, I need something that requires dexterity.
So Gar attempts to crank it, and unfortunately the force of the crank pushes back and sort of whacks him. So, as this is happening, another wave crashes down on the ship. Everybody make a reflex save that isn't on the rigging. So, Gorgon and Anna, you're okay. And Gar, because you're below deck. And Sveltna, and... So really, it's just Edward. Make a reflex.
So, again, so that's going to be, I guess, a bit of more... I'm going to say my +4 bonus probably doesn't apply.
I don't want to be that guy, but do you want to make a roll for that stout man who's holding on to Stoltna's rope? Or is that relevant at all?
Yeah, yeah.
I'd say it's pretty relevant.
Would that count as environmental conditions? Maybe, but...
Sure, why not?
I got an at 20, it doesn't matter.
The man who was holding the rope with you gets washed away and slammed into the railings.
Ah, shit. Oh, okay, so he doesn't fall overboard.
Not overboard, no.
Oh,
Anna's
I'm
turn.
so glad.
Oh, wait, sorry, we never did Nameless Girl.
Yeah. So I'm going to assume that it goes without saying I held my breath before I jumped in the water.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Another
Roll an intelligence check.
started rolling like shit as soon as I jumped in this water. It's
that
another
your
failed
swim-
swim check.
That's your
Yeah.
swim check. So you begin to flounder and get dragged deeper under the water.
Do I still have sight of the girl that I jumped in after?
I mean,
Or is
you're
she, like, long
you're
gone?
you're underwater. So I mean,
Okay.
it's underwater at night during a storm. So yeah. Anna.
I suppose. Can I help Gorgon with what he's doing at all, or?
Certainly, you could get the other
You
end
forgot
of
your
the,
bonus, although it didn't really matter.
you can get the other end of the rope for him, so he doesn't have to climb as far.
I'm probably gonna grab a rope this
I'll
turn.
do that.
Okay.
Do you have to make any checks or no? I just.
You're able make a no. I think that you're able to grab the rope. That'll just take a standard, and then you can do a move action to get closer.
I do
It'll
that.
take one more turn to get to Gorgon. Edward, you are the only one holding on to Sveltna's lifeline.
Really? Holy shit. So I will attempt. The only thing I can do really is a strength check to attempt to. Can I tie it anywhere?
I will absolutely allow you to tie it to the railing.
What do I roll to do that?
I don't know. What would it would have been used rope?
Yeah,
Now
only the
just
skill-
do like a dexterity check, or if you can think of anything else that's applicable, I will.
I don't know. I got pretty good spellcraft. Can I use spellcraft?
You
let
sure
me-
can as you drown.
Yeah.
Really, the
I-
rope, if you tie it, it's gonna hold really well. Like, even just wrapping it around a few times and like crossing over is gonna be pretty amazing for.
Let me check. I'm just googling use rope in Pathfinder.
I
But,
feel like we don't need
I'm
to
not
put
roll-
that much
and,
thought.
you know what? In the meantime, I'm gonna roll a dex, just a straight up dex. And I roll a
Pretty well.
16.
So realizing that you're the only one holding the rope, you begin pulling the rope through the railing and wrapping it around itself, so that you won't lose it. Is there any? That'll be like one of your actions. Do you want to do anything else?
I can't really. I mean, I have my own rope, and I'm kind of like on the side of the boat. So actually, I don't think I can do that this turn. But I was thinking maybe tying myself to the side of the boat as well, or something,
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
so I don't fall overboard.
You could even just use like the length of rope that hasn't been used. You know what I mean? Because you've been wrapping around.
Good. Yeah.
Anyways,
you
you
know
tie
what?
yourself to the railing.
Yeah, cool, sweet, and then I'm gonna start pulling next round.
Leslie, you're swimming in the water, going
Yeah.
for the person who's been swept away, or Sveltna?
I was going to Stelna first.
Okay.
And if I get to her, yeah, I always make monkey fish.
What's your speed as monkeyfish?
It's pretty slow, I think. I think
Yeah,
it's like
it's
10
like-
feet.
Oh, really? That's like really slow. So you could go for Sveltna, but you think if you do, the other crewmen will be lost.
Can I do a quick assessment of like her rope situation?
You can. You're gonna do a perception check. You'll take severe penalties because it's night, it's dark, it's.
Yeah, I only rolled a 12.
Yeah, you really can't tell. You can't even really spot where the water goes or where her rope goes. And well, okay, you do spot where her rope goes into the water, but you can't even. It's really hard to tell where she is.
Okay, so I can't tell if the rope's
With-
actually successfully tied off or anything.
It's hard to tell. You can tell that it's on the ship. Whether it's been tied off or who's holding it, you're not sure.
I can tell that it's on the ship.
Yes.
Like one end is going over the ship rail, and then the other end's in the water.
But I don't know if Svelna's tied to it.
You don't know.
You don't know what's going
no
on with
idea.
I'm
She's
going.
underwater.
All right, I'm gonna swim towards Svelna.
Okay.
Relating to use rope, I've seen people say that sleight of hand or escape artists would be closest.
Yeah, sleight of hand makes sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So dexterity, basically, because it's probably not trained for you.
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah, no,
let's
I don't have it.
swim. You make a break for Sveltna.
Yeah.
You swim down 20 feet, and you can see her just at the edge of your vision, in the darkness.
I'm gonna call over to her.
Well, I mean, you're underwater, right? Because she's failed twice
Oh
at her
shit.
swim check, so she's underwater. Like,
All right.
so you can't call out.
I will not call out to her.
Gorgon's
Oh, I
talking.
forgot I can reroll a fucking dice once per day.
So, how are we doing on the sail? Status report.
It's
Sail.
coming well. Anna is retrieving the sail end to you.
Okay.
If you successfully climbed up, you could make it to her this turn.
Well, here goes nothing.
I might have to leave after my
that
next turn.
was, the link I sent Carl. Nat 20.
That's gangster.
Okay, so Gorgon easily clambers up the ropes to Anna, at which point she hands you the rope and you tie them together. So now you'll have to retract the sail.
Can I do that this turn, or do I have to wait?
Nope, you'll have to wait. Gar's turn. Gar, you are
Make another attempt at the pumps.
okay.
I really need to get the water out of the ship.
Yeah, it's the waves keep crashing over the ship and it keeps getting filled up more and more. This time with your strength check though, you are able to get it moving and it begins pumping the water out. As you're doing this, some of a large pile of equipment breaks free and slams against the side of the ship, pinning someone there.
Oh, lordy. Guard dashes over to help them.
All right, he's pinned. You could perhaps use a strength check or something else that you think is applicable. You could perhaps use your sword to pry through / cut the equipment away, but you'll end up damaging your supplies.
Really, equipment's more important than lives in this expedition. Guard just tries to shift the equipment with strength.
You attempt to lift the packages off of his leg, but are unable to do so. Okay, we're back to the beginning again. There's another wave that crashes over the ship. Reflex save, Edward, although you are anchored, so.
Sorry, would I also need one now? Because I wasn't totally straight on what I did last turn. Am I down on the
Yeah,
deck
you were a
now?
little gay.
No, you're not on the deck. You retrieve the rope and you're basically in the rigging above the deck,
Okay.
Gorgon.
All right.
You've brought the rope to Gorgon. So, yeah, reflex, Ed? No? Okay. Okay. Nameless Girl, your turn.
I just have a question. Can I help Nameless Girl on her turn and then leave after? If she needs my help?
Sure, yeah.
Alright, go ahead, Luke.
I got a 26.
Okay, that's your swim check?
Yeah.
So you swim back up and break the surface of the water. You take a gulp of sea air. You look around and see your crewman nearly out of range. Fortunately, that was your turn to get back up to the surface.
Yeah.
Les says, take this vial, swim to her, or to him, and once you get to that person, then drink it. And they'll be able to climb on your back till you get back to the boat. You'll be a lot slower after you drink it, but you won't sink. And you have to dispel it before you climb back onto the ship. Otherwise, they'll see.
Leslie's confusing all the genders now.
You know what I'm saying?
Sultan nods.
Les will hand off an extract, and he's gonna
How
turn
big are
around.
your vials?
It's not very big for extracts. Little skinny vials. Think science class in high school. You
Yeah,
know?
Sultan puts it in her mouth.
I like that. So Les says, Les says, be careful. I'm going back to the ship.
Sultan will
Okay.
nod again. How tall is this ship, by chance?
It's
I'm just trying to
fairly-
figure out how much rope I have. Or I have
it's
to
like,
risk untying. And
don't worry
swimming.
about the length of the rope too much.
You can untie now, but you
How,
wouldn't.
like,
You'll
how
never
long
catch her.
was your rope?
Well, it was 50 feet, but I'm thinking
Yeah,
like,
it's like not long at all.
yeah, that's what I mean.
So I mean, yeah,
Okay, move on. I'll figure it
you're
out.
basically at the point where if you want to get this person, you're gonna have to forego the rope
Yeah.
because it's not long, or get someone at the other end to tie along the length.
You won't drown as long as you've got that extract, but you
I
won't
didn't
catch
do
her
it
if you
first.
drink it first.
Yeah.
And it's turn.
All right, guys, have a good
Uh,
night.
Take care.